What's up, guys, and welcome back. I'm Ash from FallingLeavesKungFu.com, and in this video I want to talk about the Tappy Tappy guy. Recently, McDojo Life did a video interview with the Tappy Tappy guy, and I thought it was very cool, very respectful, and open-minded, and very even-handed, right? And what I want to talk about in this video is not so much the Tappy Tappy guy, but the internet's response to the Tappy Tappy guy. This is what it really boils down to, is people were just judging his video content based on how he looked, right? So, you know, without pulling any punches, bro is built like a melted candle. I really don't care how somebody looks. What I care about is can they make me better, right? Like in a self-defense context, can they make me a better, more effective fighter than I am right now? What they look like has absolutely nothing to do with that. There's a certain amount of immaturity, right, that takes place in the comments section of most any video. And as part of that, you know, there's just sort of that stereotype of that, you know, martial artist, especially if you're a good martial artist, is that you're gonna, you know, be lean and ripped. You know, so in a way that this video is sort of a follow-up to one of my older videos that was, so we don't need no stinking six-pack. You know, I think I probably said in that video, it's like my Sifu, Grandmaster Sam Chen, has always been on the heavy side. Is not a factor, right? And how much respect and admiration that I have for him, and it's not a reflection on his level of skill. I say without reservation that he's one of the most skilled martial artists on the planet alive today. Just as another example from that more people would be familiar with, like look at Tyson Fury. Bro is built like a bag of milk, right? But he still is the world champion heavyweight boxer, right? Really, skill is a nervous system issue, right? And then your degree of power is also a nervous system issue. It really has nothing to do with what you look like. Genetics plays a role. Some people carry more body fat than others, even at the same diet and lifestyle. So just as an example for me, you may have noticed from some of my social media posts that I do not currently have abs. I really don't care. What I care about is being able to perform and to be able to recover from my training. And if I'm carrying a little more body fat, it is what it is. Even when I was younger, and at a much lower body weight, I've always kind of hovered around the same body fat percentage. A few years ago now, it's getting back 5 or 6 years, but I put a lot of energy and focus on getting as lean as possible. And again, just because, like I said, I don't particularly have the genetics to be super lean, I carry more subcutaneous fat, sort of like Tyson Fury, right? Where it's like I don't have the big beer gut, but I have a little of the jelly on my belly, and always have. My dad has the exact same body type, and my youngest son has the exact same body type, right? So there's a strong genetic component to that. But like I said, going back to a few years ago when I spent a lot of time and effort to get as lean as possible, I had a decent 4-pack. I didn't have a 6-pack. I still had a little ribbon of body fat around my very lower abdomen. And the amount of time and effort that it took me, about 18 months of counting every calorie, of weighing every gram of food that I ate, and making sure that I was hitting my protein, you know, I had my macros dialed in, everything. And it still took me about 18 months to get down that lean. And by the time I did get that lean, I had lost quite a bit of muscle mass. I'd lost quite a bit of strength, even with eating adequate protein and training at the same time. And then it got to the point where I was dreaming about food at night. I would wake up in the middle of the night hungry, and every meal that I would eat, I wasn't even finished with that meal yet, and I was already thinking about my next meal. I mean, that's how obsessed with food I got by that time. So the level of time and effort and the overall impact that it was having on my life and on my training, because I was starting to accumulate a lot of micro injuries that just wouldn't heal. So for me to get that lean is not worth it. And what's the payoff? You look better in your social media videos, or you look better in your Facebook posts or whatever it is, or better, I should say. But really, at that point, not only was it not helping my training, but it was actively hurting my training to get that lean. So, like I said, I had already been dealing with all the negative impact on my training, on my overall quality of life, just to try to get down to be that lean. And when I was that lean, it didn't make my skill one bit better. If you are somebody that's naturally leaner, hey, good for you. Now, with that being said, I'll never advocate for being obese. Again, that's going to also affect the quality of your training, your longevity, and your overall quality of life. But what I am saying is that if you're somebody that's obsessed with how somebody looks, as far as their aesthetics go and whether or not they have abs, and that's the benchmark or the yardstick by which you're going to measure their value as a martial artist, or more importantly, a martial arts instructor, you are way off in left field and should reevaluate your priorities. That's going to do it for this video. As always, thanks for watching. Train hard, stay strong. I'll catch you guys next time.